morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, I can't speak off the top as I used to, so I have to read. I don't know if everybody can hear me.
Good.
So when I signed up for this reflection, I had no idea. I thought I was supposed to have done the service this morning, and I had no idea what I was going to do. I guess Mary Evan knows what that feels like. She's been asking all kinds of questions. But I asked Faye to send me the reading, and I knew then what I was going to speak on. And it was something that I have been going over in my mind for quite a while, and that is faith. Believing God is always in our boat with us. I was remembering the song, Faith Can Move Mountains. But what stage of faith would that be? What stage of faith are we in? I've been thinking of faith, and as I say, I've been thinking of it a lot for a very long time, especially since I've been here. What stage of faith is our journey with God? I've been pondering, can one have no faith at all? Is that possible? Think of it. What do you think? Can one have no faith at all? Well, how I think of it is in stages. In the first stage, I think of it little faith. If we profess to be children of God, we do have some faith in God. But are we struggling with our faith? Are we just hanging there at this first stage? Or are we growing in our faith? Am I advancing, getting stronger than I was before, or am I stagnating? And as you know, stagnation is not a good place to be. Little faith, I think, is restless faith. Little faith says, I believe I can, at least I think I can do, at least I think that God can do it. I hope He can, I hope He will, might be He can, but I'm not quite certain about it all. We pray, yet not entirely believing that God is going to answer our prayers. He always does, sometimes not how we want Him to answer, because He always does what's best for us. Are you ever at that point where you are thinking, I am trying to believe that He can, but I'm not completely sure? We are not completely confident. I don't think we should beat ourselves up too much, however. Even Jesus' disciples who was with Him saw and was witness to all that He did on a daily basis. Saw all the miracles He performed over and over and over again, yet they still doubted His ability and their ability to do things through Him. The ultimate was His resurrection. From their actions, we can see that none of them really believed in what He had promised the people there. That He would be betrayed, they witnessed that. He would be crucified, they witnessed that. He would die, they witnessed that. Yet none of them really believed all of that He said would have happened. It was not just doubtful Thomas that didn't believe. None of them believed. Even Peter. I don't think that he would have acted or noted about the cock crowing the third time the healing of God. They had no faith believing that he would do what he said. How many times have they heard him say, "Don't be a kind of thing, only of little faith"? If they were there, saw, and still had doubts in believing, we too, over 2,000 years after, when we be struggling also, would our faith be as strong as we want it to be? Seeing that they were there and they didn't believe? I don't know. Yet, we have to have faith. We have to believe that thy will be done if only we ask. Have faith, believe, and God will answer our prayers. He has for me over and over and over again. I'll give you an illustration. And Courtney is here to testify about that. Once when I worked on one of the trips, we had to get from one side of the highway to the other. Don't ask me why they had a crossing on such a busy highway. There were cars coming and going non-stop in either direction. We were late where we were going, and to have gone otherwise would have taken us over half an hour. I decided to pray, and I prayed out loudly. Normally I pray in my mind when he's driving. But this time I prayed out loudly. And I made the sign of the cross. And immediately, like the parting of the Red Sea, immediately the Israelites, the cars just ceased from coming. There were no cars, believe you, there were no cars. We don't know where the cars, right, Courtney? We don't know where the cars disappeared to, but there were no cars. And we went safely across. Courtney was astonished. And I just give God thanks and praise for what he has done, but especially for giving me, allowing me to have faith in him and to believe that all things are possible if only I believe. God was in the boat with us. Where is our focus? Where is my focus? When I start struggling and doubting and wondering, I know I'm not focusing on the Almighty. I'm focusing on my problem. All of us have been there at some point in our lives. Then I think that is little faith, in my opinion. Then I think there's great faith. We are maturing, growing stronger in our faith. In the Old Testament reading, we read about the story that this was what they had sent me about the story of David and Goliath. Goliath had his strength, his armor, his sword, etc. But little handsome David had none of these. He had something far better, far bigger, far greater. He had his God. His focus was on God, not the monster in front facing him. He looked beyond what he could see, putting all his fears behind him and focusing only on God. He never wavered, totally undoubting. David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with swords and spears, but I come against you in the name of the Lord of Israel, the God of the armies of Israel. This day the Lord will strike you down, cut off your head, and give the carcasses of the Philistine to the birds of the air and the creatures of the earth." That was supposed to be the other reading today. Then the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. You see, David was in other difficulties throughout his time. Remember that he killing the lion and so forth while he was tending his father's sheep. He knew who was in his boat. And for we all know we have to take of David that he can do anything and everything. In our church, in such a time like this, we are clinging toward that old rugged cross, not leaning, but I think we are desperately clinging. No more than ever, we need to keep our hopes up, our beliefs steadfast, and our faith unwavering. We are like the little engine that could. We are struggling to reach the top to see some light. We are saying we think we can, but each time we get over one hurdle, there comes another. We grow tired, frustrated, drained, but we are never defeated. In these times, we should always remember we are not alone. Call someone, pray with someone. Let us be united as one, in one accord. In some way or the other, we are all afraid of the unknown, but we know who is in the boat with us. Remember the song, Alone, Never Alone? We promise always to be by our side. He will never, never leave us alone. Don't you worry. He who the Lord loves, he chastises. Sometimes I say to myself, Lord, love me, but don't chastise us so much. Because we keep asking, how long, dear Lord, how long? I'm sure all of us have been asking ourselves that over the past 2 years or three. I stopped wondering. But I think this is time to put on the armor of God and sing, and we should sing that song then. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching on to war, with the cross of Jesus still on the floor. Remember we used to sing that here, and then they stopped something because we think it was fighting or something. But I think we need to sing that song again. I always refer to songs. They are my solace. They bring me comfort. Or at other times, it could be the 23rd Psalms. During COVID, lying in my hospital bed, especially at nights, with what seemed to be an elephant on my chest, trying to catch each breath, I would recite, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," and repeat over and over again the 4th verse. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because thy rod and staff will comfort me. I know that God was always in my boat. Other times I would recite the Lord's prayers. I was reaching out to God in faith, knowing that was all I had to cling to, my faith in the Almighty. We here have to have a strong belief or faith in God to cling to in order to keep our spiritual health strengthened and alive. We have to live by faith and not by sight. We are not only going up a steep hill, actually not a hill, but a high mountain, through a dark tunnel. We can't see our way out. The billows are tossing high, the waves are just beating on us. We are in deep, rough waters. Our little church, our little boat is just tossing to and fro. But we have to remember who is the captain of our boat and who's in control. And we have to remember who is in our boat with us. We not only have to lean on the everlasting arms of God, but also on each other. With the grace and mercy of God, we have to stand together. Together we stand, divided we fall. Always knowing that greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. It is no longer the same in our church. As a matter of fact, in the world, there are a lot of changes. Changes are hard. Uncertainties are hard. Our circumstances here are very difficult, but we have to remember who is in or both with us. We all have all sorts of problems to deal with, not only here, but in our daily lives. We don't know half of the problems the vestry has to deal with. The vestry don't know all the problems Kate and I have to deal with. And I don't know all the problems we have to deal with. It's a lot. That is why we have to try and understand and support each other. Take into consideration that each person individually or collectively is going through. We have a hard-working vestry who is fighting very hard for the beloved church. In our daily lives, we have all sorts of problems: health problems, financial problems, physical problems, marital problems, mental problems, emotional problems, and the list goes on and on. You know what I'm speaking about. You know that you have the car breaking down, the plumbing, the water here, the neighbors, all our politicians, and then the one place we come for strength and for solace to rest and lay our burdens down, or dearly beloved church. It is also having so many problems. It is internal, but we must always remember who is always in our boat with us. We are going to be like doubtful Thomas at times. We are only human, but we should always remember who's in our boat with us. I'll tell you a secret: the harder we try, the harder the devil tries. But we should not yield to his temptation, and the only way we can conquer him is to let him know who's in or both with us. As we get to know God, we will get to know him intimately. We will get to know his will and his purpose for us. We will learn to listen and obey him. We will experience his presence, power, and will. We must walk in faith continuously and completely. And then the last one I think is absolute faith. The faith of Job, the faith that never questioned, the faith that never doubts. Like the faith of the centurion in Matthew 8, 5 through 10 reads, when Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came and pleaded with him, Lord, my servant lies at home, paralyzed, and in terrible anger. And Jesus said, I'll go and heal him. The centurion answered, Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell them to go, and they go, and another to come, and he comes. I tell my servant to do something, and he does it. Then Jesus heard this. When Jesus heard this, he marveled and said to those following him, Truly, I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. This, I think, is absolute faith. We all want to have this absolute faith. The centurion knew who was in the boat with him. Be not afraid. We have hope in God, who is always in the boat with us. Let not your heart be troubled. Be still. Have faith. Don't lose your faith. Hold on to your faith in God. He will carry us through. Let us all live for beloved sanctuary today, with absolute faith, knowing who is in the boat with us. Fear attracts the devil. Faith attracts God. When you choose faith over fear, it activates God's power. Faith is freedom. It is trusting God and believing in God. So when fear knocks, let faith open the door. Remember, the giant in front of you is never bigger than the God inside you. If God is for you, who can be against you? Submit your hearts to God. God is there, ready to help. Be strong, be confident, and stand firm in your faith. And always remember, who is in the boat with you. So may the peace of God, I'll say it now because I won't walk it at the back of the church. So may the peace of God, with His grace, His mercy, and His love, go with you, be with you, abide with you throughout the week, keeping you steadfast in the knowledge of His promises. I will never leave you or forsake you. Have faith because He is always with you. Have a blessed day.